Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, so thank you guys for joining me. Today we've got this really fun, shimmery and dramatic look going on. So if you want to find out what I did to achieve it, please keep on watching. Okay, so my face is already primed and moisturized, but I did want to take a second here and show off my nails. No biting, yay! I've come a really long way, you guys. I know that they may seem short for you guys, but this is a huge achievement for me. But anyways, jumping right into foundation, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation in the shade 430. It is just like a tad bit darker than my skin tone. You can't really tell too much in this video, so that's a good thing. But I'm just going to go ahead and press it directly into the skin with a damp Morphe face blender. So you may be able to tell we're actually filming in a different setting at the moment, and that is because, as some of you may or may not know, since my last video that I recorded and uploaded, I bought a house. So we are actually currently filming out of my new makeup room. And I've still got quite a ways to go on it, but nevertheless, it is still my favorite room in the house. Okay, so moving along to concealer, I'm actually going to be mixing the Tarte Creaseless Concealer in the shade 255 Light Medium Sand, and then the Maybelline Concealer in the shade Sand Sable, that is the number 20. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply these to the highlights of my face, such as the under eyes, forehead, chin, and then the bridge of my nose. I went in with the yellow shade first, which was the Maybelline, and then I'm going to go in with the Tarte Concealer to just brighten it up a little bit on some of these areas as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Morphe Beauty Sponge. It's still damp, and I'm going to use the pointed side to just blend out all of this concealer. Okay, so I know it's probably really lame, but what do you guys think of the fairy lights that I've got going on back there? I'm actually super proud of them because I hung them up and got like the curtain rod and the command hooks by myself. I know, big deal, right? But I'm so obsessed. I think they came out absolutely beautiful, and now I want to do it to my daughter's rooms and essentially every single room in the house. Okay, so as I was in the middle of blending out my concealer, something popped up on my camera and I kind of like freaked out to take a look at it, only to have this happen. Voila! It actually fixed my lighting, so I don't know what I was doing wrong. It ended up being a blessing in disguise, and we ain't mad at it, so let's just keep going. Okay, now moving on to setting our under eyes, we're going with the Beauty Bakery Flower Setting Powder in the shade Translucent, and as you can tell, I am running low, so we're going to go ahead and make the most out of what we've got here. I'm going to press it directly into my under eyes and on the sides of my nose to give us that snatched look. I really love this setting powder because it's got a very satin finish, and it's really like soft to the touch, not too heavy, so it's perfect for baking. So basically I'm just making sure to press it into my forehead, my chin, and by my smile lines as well so that I don't get any creasing there. Then going in with the big fluffy powder brush with the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collection, it's the JH01 I believe. I'm just going to go ahead and grab whatever's left over and press that into the rest of my skin to set the foundation as well. Okay, so I'm going to be going in with some bronzer now using my favorite Marc Jacobs bronzer in the shade Omega Bronze, I believe. It says 102 Tantric. I live for this bronzer. It is the perfect tone, not too warm and not too cool, and it always gives me a beautiful flush of color. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab that on with an angled face brush from the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill collection. Essentially all of the brushes that I'm going to be using today are from the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill collection because yes. So just forewarning. So I just went ahead and added some of that to my forehead, the hollows of my cheeks, the sides of my nose to give me a little bit more definition, and really just anywhere I want to bring a little bit of warmth back to my skin. Okay, going in with another holy grail. This is the Shade and Light Contour Palette from Kat Von D, and I'm just going to go ahead and take the JH05 brush and grab the two lighter contour shades that we've got going on there. I'm going to apply those directly onto the hollows of my cheeks to give myself a more defined look. So I'm just going to go ahead and contour my forehead with this as well to give myself some shadow definition up there. Let me tell you something, when it's a girl in her makeup room, there is nothing going to be stopping her from jamming out, so don't judge me. And finally, we're just going to go ahead and grab whatever's left over on the brush and run that along the sides of our nose, or my nose, just to give myself a tad more definition. No, honestly, don't be surprised. I can't dance, but there will be many moments like this all over this video. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and grab what I think is supposed to be called like the defining or the contouring side of the Morphe Beauty Sponge and dip into the two lighter highlight shades in the Shade and Light Contour Palette and just use that to chisel and clean up this contour that we've got going on here. Okay, 10 points to whoever can tell me what song it is I'm singing here, because obviously I feel very passionate about it. All right, so we are done baking and we're gonna go ahead and grab the JH07. Honestly, this brush is like perfect for wiping off or setting your under eye area. It is just super soft and perfectly angled. And so we're just gonna go ahead and take off what we've got baked on there. Okay, so grabbing on the same two brighter shades of the highlight and contour palette that we used to clean up our contour, I'm gonna go ahead and just press that onto the under eye as well to brighten it up. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and lightly tap a little bit onto my forehead also to brighten that area up just a tad bit. And we can go ahead and clean up what we applied under our contour as well at this point. Okay, girl, let me tell you that there is nothing like feeling like you just went from a potato to a set of freshly crispy cut fries. Okay, moving on to blush, I'm going to go ahead and grab the JH06 brush, and we're going to be using the Becca, Chloe, and Malika BFFs palette. I live for this palette. Oh my god, look at how gorgeous it is. I'm just going to go ahead and grab the blush Fabulosity. It is so beautiful. It's a beautifully like rosy coral shade, and I love that you can pile it up slowly to your desire. I'm not a very big blush girl, so I love that I can build this up. I am not mad that it is not intense. So I actually ran out of my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, but I'm going to be using the Ben Nye Final Seal Matte Makeup Sealer. I actually use these for my bridal parties. They'll actually keep your makeup on all day long. But jumping onto highlight, we're going to go in with this shade Glow Up. Oh my god, you guys. It's supposed to be a soft focus highlighter, but would you look at that? I am gagged. This highlight is blinding. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to all the high points of my face, such as my cupid's bow, the chin, and the bridge of my nose. I'm also going to go back in with the blush brush that I used just to blend out the highlight and make sure that we don't have any harsh lines. Okay, moving on to brows, I'm going to go ahead and take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Tip Brow Pomade in the shade Dark Brown, as always. And I'm actually just going to breeze past this part because blah, boring. I do have a brow tutorial on my channel. It is about a year old, but if you would like to see it, I can definitely link it down below. Otherwise, if you would like, I guess, an updated brow tutorial, it is pretty much the same, but let me know if you guys want to see me go a little bit more in depth on how I do my brows. Okay, now that our brows are done, moving on to eyeshadow, we're going to go in with everybody's favorite, the P. Louise base in the shade, I believe it's like 02. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of that onto the back of my hand. And using the Crown Brush's Precision Concealer brush, it is the C469. I'm just going to go ahead and use this to clean up my brows and also prime the eyelids. Now with this P. Louise base, you want to apply a very thin layer all over the eyelid and make sure that you're patting it in to set it. Okay, so for today's eye look, we're going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture Palette And I'm going to be using a packing brush from the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill collection. I'm going to grab that shade New Wave, it's the beautiful orangey shade, and just pack that on all over the crease. Now these shadows can be a little bit difficult to work with, so I understand the buzz about it when it came out, but the shadows are so gorgeous, and if you take your time you can get a very beautiful flawless look. Okay, so as you can tell, we were initially just packing the shade in till we got the intensity that we wanted. Once you've got that intensity that you want out of the color, then you can go ahead in with small circular motions around the edges to give it a nice diffused look. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a fluffier brush. The first brush that we were using was definitely a bit more packed in, and I'm going to use the fluffier brush to grab the shade Edge. It's that beautiful mustard looking shade, and just pack it onto the edges of the orange that we applied to give it a nice gradient look. Now, I'm not gonna lie, at this point I was a little bit scared at the way that the colors were mixing together, and this is what I meant, that I can understand how they're a little bit difficult to work with. I was starting to get a very muddy feel, but I promise that if you just keep going, see, I went back with that New Wave shade, the orangey one, and packed it back on. You just have to kind of go back and forth and just blend it to make sure that it looks nice and seamless. And to give it a softer look up at the very top, I do grab the shade Dawn with an even fluffier brush yet, and just kind of blend out those edges with it a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab this tapered brush that came with, I think it was like the Bronzed Extended Kylie palette, and I'm gonna grab the shade All Star. It's that mauve-y looking shade, and just pack it into the very hollows of the crease. You definitely want to keep the shade into the deeper part of the lid, because this is what's gonna give us the definition when we come back in and cut that crease. Okay, so again here you just want to build up that color intensity, pack the shade on to get it to the depth that you want it to be, and then you can come back around those edges and just kind of give it those little buffing motions to blend it into the orange shade that we had all over the crease. Yay, so we got one eye pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye off camera. I'll be right back. Boom, just like that. If only it were that easy, huh? Okay, now everybody knows that before a cut crease, you gotta take a moment to pray to the makeup gods and hope that you do not mess up. Okay, so using the same flat concealer brush and the same P. Louise base that we used to prime our eyelids, we're gonna go ahead and take our time to just sketch out this crease. I usually like to start by defining the very highest point of my lid and then the inner corner, and just kind of attaching the two. As you can tell, this is obviously fast forwarded, because there is no way that I would be moving this fast and get it right. You have to really take your time and just go by little sections. And once you've kind of got it mostly sketched out, then you can go ahead and just clean up the rest of the lid. And once you have your crease cut, you want to move fast because you don't want it to set without you applying the shadow. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this flat eyeshadow brush. It is the JH41, and I'm going to use the shade Adorn in the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. It's a very bronzy, beautiful shimmery shade. Usually I would go in with some setting spray to kind of liven this shade up. Like I said, I didn't have one, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to press it in with my fingers. Usually that definitely helps intensify the color. Then I'm just gonna go back in with that brush and just define the edges. But as you can tell, at this point I kind of came to realization. I remembered that I had the Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow set. Oh my gosh, you guys, these colors are so vibrant. I ended up using Kitten Karma, and I went directly with the applicator onto the eyelid, and I just switched back over to the flat brush again, just so that I can get directly onto the edges of that crease. Girl, let me tell you, sometimes you impress yourself, and that is okay, boo-boo. All right, you guys, that's all for this side. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side off camera, and I will be right back. Oof, not gonna lie, you guys, that wasn't easy, but here we are, dusting off the fallout. Time for some liner. And as usual, we're gonna be using our Inglot gel liner in the shade 77, using an angled liner brush. This one is from ColourPop. I can't recall what it's called, but it's like $5, so if you don't have it, get it. Okay, so I'm showing you guys real time how long it takes me to create the swing, because eyeliner senses fear. I swear to you, it does. So take your time, go in short strokes, and show no fear because it has no mercy. Okay, so once I've got the basic layout of that wing, then I move into the inner corner and start building it up from there. And then I just kind of move back and forth between the two sides and just gradually connect it and build it to the, I guess, thickness that I want it to be. So now that I've got the outline of my wing, I'm just gonna go ahead and fill it in. Oh girl, I am feeling myself. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get this other wing the exact same way, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am not mad at it. Time for mascara, so I'm just gonna go ahead and curl these lashes. And I'm just gonna go ahead with this CoverGirl mascara. I can't remember the name of it, and obviously I've used it so much that it wore off the actual packaging. So I'll go ahead and link it down below. But honestly, it's like the best mascara that I have ever used, hands down. Even better than Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and work on the under eyes. And I'm using this flat brush and grabbing the shade Rowdy from the ABH Subculture Palette and just running that right along the lash line. Okay, so then I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this smaller, precise blending brush and that shade All Star and use it to buff out the brown Rowdy shade that we applied on the lash line. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this fluffy pencil brush and that peachy shade, it's called Roxy, and just use it to buff out the mauve shade that we just applied. Honestly, I've got nothing. So we're just gonna go ahead and move on. Grabbing this little packing brush, it is the JH39, and then I'm gonna be using the ColourPop Golden State of Mind palette. This is an all shimmer palette and it is stunning. I believe it's like less than $15. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that iridescent shade right in the middle on the top there. I think it's called Girlfriend, and I know that it looks white on the pan, but as you can tell from the swatch, it's like a very beautiful iridescent pink. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pack it right into the inner corner of the eye. Do you guys see this? Like, it is so iridescent, it is so bright, it really opens up your eye and brings the look together whilst giving you a nice little pop of color. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and grab a tiny little bit and apply it to the brow bone area just to bring this whole look together. Okay, time for lashes. I'm going to be going in with one of my favorites. These are the Cocoa lashes in the style Goddess. They are so fluffy and dramatic. I think these honestly pair well with almost every single look. Honestly, they bring just the right amount of sass to your dramatic looks, and then they always know how to flare up your more natural styles. Okay, no, seriously, do you guys see this drama? I live for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop them into the other side. And there we go. Look at that drama. She's out here looking like a whole snack. Anyways, moving forward, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this lip liner by MAC in the shade Stripped Out and just give myself a little bit of definition around the lips. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and top that off with the Dose of Color lip gloss in the shade Barely There. I believe this is a collaboration with I Love Setting. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit onto the center of my lips, and then using my fingers, I'm gonna press that in to just give myself a little bit of shine and color. Alright you guys, so that pretty much wraps up this entire look. I had lots of fun filming this. I'm feeling really dramatic and super fun and flirty. I hope you guys enjoyed it too and that you learned something new. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to leave me a comment to let me know what it is that you guys want to see from me next. I promise that I'm going to be more consistent now that I'm all settled in. Anyways, thanks again. Love you guys. See you next time.